What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel and you're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. Today we're looking at this knife right here on your screen, the Microtech Standard Issue, or MSI for short. Man, this this knife has been a blast to EDC, you guys. I have taken purposefully a long time to come up with a review on this knife because, you know, the more I carry it, the more I love carrying it, and then I carried it some more, and then I'm still carrying it, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. That's how good the experience has been with this knife. So I did the unboxing on this knife a while back. I did purchase this knife with my own money. I wanted to get into Microtech in some sort of way. I know that they are a very premium American-made knife company, and I just wanted to get one of their knives, and lo and behold, the time came. I found this one at a good price, and I just went ahead and snatched it, and that is how we got our very first Microtech knife here in the channel. So the Microtech MSI, we got quite a lot to cover here, quite a lot of ground, quite a lot of different things to discuss together here. Keep in mind there will be affiliate links for this knife and every other knife you see in the video down in the description below. Those affiliate links do help out the channel at no extra cost to you. So if you are considering picking this one up, those links will be down there for your convenience. Let's get things started here, of course, like we typically do, with a quick size measurement. I'll tell you right off the bat, this is not a short knife by any stretch of the imagination. This thing comes in at like 8.8, maybe 8.9 inches, 8.9 inches. It's literally 1/10 of an inch away from being a whole 9-inch knife. So that tells you everything you need to know. As far as the blade length, that's exactly 4 inches. The cutting edge, that's going to be at 3.5. The handle is going to be a total of 5 inches. So yeah, we're dealing with a big boy right here. Definitely a good size to it, no doubt about that. What do we have going on as far as materials here? We have, well, this is this is interesting because this was my most affordable way to get into Microtech knives, and that is because they were offering and still are offering the MSI in the polymer material here. So this is very similar to FRN, really. So I believe this one comes in just under 200 bucks or so with tax, and of course there are G10 versions with the frag pattern and things like that. G10 is definitely going to cost a lot more. The injection molded plastic here, or polymer, this one is going to be the more affordable one. Now my hope, and I'll tell you this right off the bat, I was going to tell you this later in the video, but this is, the reason why I got this knife with this handle materials, my hope is that at some point they are going to, so many different aftermarket companies are going to be able to provide aftermarket scales for this guy. So I know it's not going to be permanently, for me at least, in these polymer scales going on now. Hopefully one day there'll be a nice sweet aftermarket, titanium scale or something that I can pick up for this guy, which will give it the chef's kiss.
Nice.
But for right now, again, a very affordable way to experience the RAM-LOK. We're going to get into that. As far as the steel, we have M390 with a little bit of special sauce, right? M390 from Bowler, and what they did is they talked with Microtech and said, hey, can we make that 390 a little bit better, spice it up for you? And Microtech was like, yeah, absolutely. They believe, if I'm not mistaken, you guys are welcome to do the research, I believe they played around a little bit with the carbon content on the steel, and that favors just a tad bit etch retention, right? That is, as far as I'm concerned, what MK stands for. That is the Microtech knife specific version of M390. Actually, yeah, exclusive to Microtech. So you will see M390 everywhere else in other knives, but M390 MK is exclusively for Microtech. So there's that. This one has a stonewash finish going on. I want to say sheep's foot. Yeah, this is definitely Warncliffe, more sheep's foot because of the little bit of a belly that we have going on here. Yeah, the edge on this thing is ultra sharp as expected, and we have a big blade hole or opening going on here, as you can see. And yeah, this thing is solid, built like a tank, if I say so myself. Let's do some quick size comparisons. Let's get out the usuals here. Of course, here's the Para Military 2. Right, it's actually going to be bigger than the PM2, and it's going to be bigger than the Para 3. So check that out. Right, definitely longer overall length than those two. All right, let's see. These next ones are also going to be a lot shorter. This guy is, it's a long knife. It's a large knife. So the Demco 8020.5 on the sheep's foot or shark's foot blade. Here's the slicer on the shark cub. As you can see, the MSI is a whole different beast, right? It's a whole different animal, to say the least. Probably the Wrap Model 1, that's going to be a good comparison. And for a knife to make the Wrap Model 1 look small, you know you're dealing with a pretty big, large knife. And yeah, it is indeed larger than the Wrap Model 1. And the Wrap Model 2, of course, is a lot smaller than that. Okay, and let's do just a few more for you guys to get an idea here. The more recent one, the more recent Vosteed RS Chaos, yeah, definitely even larger than that. The Vosteed Raccoon going on there also, right? Yeah, definitely a larger knife altogether. Let me toss in the sibling, of course, because you know it's in the channel, the Microtech Stitch. That's probably the more comparable one right there, and it's actually larger than the Stitch. Of course, overall length right there, the Stitch goes for a whole different approach. The review on the Stitch is coming out very, very soon, you guys, so definitely stay tuned. Subscribe if you're new, smash that like button. And yeah, this knife right here is awesome. The Borka blades collaboration Stitch, also rocking the RAM-LOK as well, and this one's also been a blast, and it's just a savage blade right here. So review on this one coming up. Again, hopefully that gives you an idea there of the different sizes. What about action? Well, let's get into the action a little bit. What is the action like with this knife? So you have, with this big old blade opening right here, you could reverse flick, boom. Sometimes it helps because the blade is so large, right? Got some weight to it. It helps if you give it the ever so slightly flick of the wrist. I'm gonna try to do it. Yeah, with a stiff hand, you have to put more effort into it. But if you give it a little, you know, spidey flick with some motion, then you're good to go. The thumb deployment, of course, you wanna put the pressure up here, boom. You can do that all day, every day. And of course you have the RAM-LOK. The RAM-LOK works very similar to a crossbar lock, but it's done in a very unique way from Microtech. Essentially, the principles are all there, right? There's a bar that's locking the blades either open or close and everything else. But, you know, the construction here is a lot more heavy duty, if you will, very solid. And unlike other crossbar knives, right, you're actually using a coil spring there, which, by the way, I want to blow some air in there. There was a little bit of pocket lint going on. But yeah, you can actually see the coil spring on this bad boy. It's going to be a lot more of a reliable mechanism than an actual Omega spring. So of course you could use the actual RAM-LOK, that's what Microtech calls it, the RAM-LOK, to open and deploy the knife. And honestly, it feels pretty good, right? You get enough grip with this X pattern going on. It also gives you good vibes of high quality, right? Very well executed. You get to see the whole thing in action here, which is also pretty sweet. There's a stop pin right there for when the blade opens. It stops the blade, the RAM-LOK moves forward, holding the blade in place. It's nice and rock solid there, no up and down, side to side play of any type. And yeah, it swings out with a nice amount of speed. It's yeah, it's just a very duplicatable type of deployment mechanism here. Regardless of which of the three deployment methods you use. You do the Spidey drop, yeah, you could do that too if you want. So yeah, you got a lot going on there as far as action on this guy. This is a quick carry profile here. We'll just check thickness against a few. Here's a PM2. It's gonna be actually a little bit thicker than the PM2 and therefore thicker than the Para 3. It's actually thicker than the 8020.5 on the Gregory scales. And let's compare it to, let's say, the Wrap Model 1. Still just a tad bit thicker than the Wrap Model 1. And here's the other brother, the Stitch. Now the Stitch is going to be ever so thicker, right? Ever so slightly thicker than the MSI right there. Since we're here, of course, let's do a length and height in the pocket. Right next to the Stitch, of course, let's get out the RS Chaos as well. Maybe going like in a reverse order. We'll just do a few, not all of them. But yeah, you can see here it's going to be a little bit wide, not as wide as the Stitch, of course, because the Stitch has the blade itself sticking out a little bit more. But it is a good amount wide, not necessarily the slimmest knife out there. Like let's say something like the Wrap Model 1 will be still a little bit slimmer there. Something like obviously the Wrap Model 2, right? You get the idea. But you know, something like even the Spyderco's, right? PM2 and Pair 3, honestly pretty comparable. I'm not gonna lie. So it actually might take just as much room there, you know, as far as how tall it is from the tip of the back of the handle to the tip of the blade there. Very comparable, about the same. You guys be the judge right there. You get the idea. Do a quick weight on this guy. Now, of course, the actual polymer handles are going to help quite a bit on the weight department. So let's see that in action then. We'll do the RS Chaos. We'll do the Stitch here. There is a new RAM-LOK equipped for a knife from Microtech, and that is the Amphibian. Hopefully, at some point, I'll be able to either get that one in the channel, whether I pick it up for myself or someone sends it in for me to review. If you have an Amphibian out there and you would like it featured here in the channel, please reach out to me. Let me know. You can message me on Instagram or the email right here on the screen. That being said, just for reference, the let's see, RS Chaos, this one is full mill titanium, comes in at 5.5 ounces. The Stitch, all right, also from Microtech with the RAM-LOK, is a full 6 ounces. Right, and the MSI is going to be 4.7. So of course, as expected, the MSI is the lighter of the three right there, right? I'm sure if maybe it was G10, it might have been a little bit heavier, not a lot more. I'm not sure if they made a aluminum version of the MSI. I know there is an aluminum version of the Stitch. Blade stock thickness on this bad boy. Let's do that really quick. Let's get a 0 out. Here we go. The thickest portion of the blade is going to be a whopping 0.17 inches on the thickest portion of the handle. We're looking at 0.55, 0.55, which is pretty common for a lot of knives I've checked out recently. So that's not bad. That's not bad right there. Another great thing that this knife has going for it, and I'll tell you right now, is the hardware, right? Microtech is not messing around with tiny hardware anywhere. So let's do a quick hardware check. My tools, of course, are highly recommended and linked down below in the description. I'm looking at, all right, let's start with T8. I want to say, what is this? T8 and the body screws. Yes, these are big and very deep. T8, you know, screws right here all throughout. Even the pocket clip are T8. That is awesome. Very well executed. Microtech understands what we knife people love, and that is some big hardware. Now, mind, this is a, you know, almost $200 knife, so it is a premium knife, to say that. So good hardware is welcome. We do have a pivot screw, which is a big boy. Is that a 20? Holy moly, check that out. Yeah, there's a big T20 right there for the pivot. So that is a huge chunker right there. I'm not sure why they only did it on one side and not the other. That's an interesting decision. I know the Stitch actually does it on both sides. All right, so I'm not sure why the MSI only has it on one side and not both. But anyways, yeah, big hardware, T20 in the pivot and T10 everywhere else. So I think that about covers up all of the stats and measurements and things like that before we can get into the meat and potatoes about this guy. So what has the carry experience been like for this knife? So I'll tell you, from the moment I got this knife up until today, and every single time that I put this thing in my pocket, it has been a blast. And I don't say that lightly, and I don't say that as a gimmick. I say that truly, honestly, meaning that 100%, because it is a large blade. So right off the bat, you have quite a substantial knife. It's not a medium knife, it's not a small knife. You're working with a pretty large knife. But the RAM-LOK, man, the RAM-LOK is such a plus. Out of all of the different crossbar locks with Omega springs that I have worked with, the Kershaw Iridium, now I'm currently checking out the Vostede as well. thumbnail, right, you'll see the unboxing and review video for the Boss Steed, which is again a very solid crossbar lock, the Benchmade bug out killer as they call it. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. But yeah, based on all the other crossbar locks that are Omega springs based, this coil spring RAM-LOK is on a whole different league of its own. The only thing that even comes close to it is the ball bearing lock in the Spyderco Mannix. That is the only thing that even comes close to, you know, giving you that feeling of, you know, sturdiness, rock solid lockup. And this one also has, and you can see through here, also has a coil spring going on too. Now this one has the plastic little, you know, tabs on both ends that you use to pull back on, whereas here, right, they're actually metal. And yeah, that just makes it more robust, kind of feels more high quality right there. And it's just so good to actuate. It also gives you the vibes of their automatic knives. As you know, Microtech is very well known for their out the front knives, OTFs, and they have the very similar X pattern right there to activate those OTF knives. And so they carry that theme for the manual knives with the RAM-LOK. And I love the RAM-LOK so much, I had to get the Stitch, and I'll probably say the same thing during the Stitch review because it's just that good. Something about the lockup, how solid and easy to manipulate. It's also a very ambidextrous friendly knife, right? As you know, my left hand is not the most trained or what have you, but here I am using the RAM-LOK as if I, you know, had used my left hand my entire life, and clearly I haven't. So yeah, very ambidextrous knife, which is very well complemented by a deep carry pocket clip. This clip right here has the MSI logo right there with the date printed on there, which is, I think, is pretty neat. This one is from September earlier this year, 2023, which is also the year that Microtech released the MSI with the RAM-LOK 2. If I'm not mistaken, the deep pocket carry clip complements the ambidextrous knife because it is reversible. You can mount it on the other end as well. Again, big hardware going on. It's like basically you have some spare screws going on with a nice filler tab and everything on the other side. That is pretty neat there. So let's talk ergonomics for a moment. So you can do the standard grip right here, which at first I noticed it was a little odd that the shape goes up into a peak here, then drops down like that. Seems a little odd, right? So when you have it in your hand though, it works perfect. Notice how my palm is on this section here. I can rest my thumb right there, and boom, there's good jimping, nice heavy duty jimping going on there, and this feels really good. This is the standard grip. All right, you'll notice my index and middle finger kind of go into this groove or curve right here, and then I have plenty of room for my medium hands. They're not the biggest, not the smallest. I still got plenty of handle going on there. The magic happens when you do the finger choil portion right here and you forward choke on this bad boy, right? So if you forward choke, you can get more control of the blade itself. It is a large blade, right? So you have quite a lot of cutting geometry surface to cut with, and this thing, I'm gonna say this right now, it is a cardboard box destroyer, right? The blade shape, which is a flat grind, by the way, a flat grind going on here on this bad boy, and the fact that you can choke up on it, you have a lot of room, a lot of cutting working edge. Boom, you can get those cardboard cuts all day, every day, and you have plenty of blade there to support regardless of how long or how short your cuts are. You can also do a little pinch grip right here too, right? That's what sheepsfoot and Warncliffe blades are good for, right? Do some precision cuts like that, right? That's gonna get some work done. But again, it is a large knife, so at no point am I trying to hide the fact that, you know, you have, I mean, this is a knife that can take anything, right? Can take on small tasks, medium tasks, and big tasks. It can do them all alike. No discrimination towards how big or how small the task might be. That's what you're working with right here with this knife, honestly. So yeah, the carrying experience has been amazing. Been having a blast with this knife. Again, one of the most affordable, if not the most affordable way to get Microtech's RAM-LOK with this FRN handles. Again, I can't wait until aftermarket companies, you know, maybe Flightanium, maybe Original Gold, we'll see. which companies are going to step up to the plate, but I can tell you the MSI is already one of Microtech's most popular model that they have, and I'm sure there's going to be aftermarket scale support for it very soon if there isn't already. You have on this polymer version, you have a nice line going on here, and then you have like a little triangle pattern going on there, which gives you a good amount of grip without being too aggressive, which is nice. And yeah, you don't feel it at all. The pocket clip is actually pretty good too, because it has like a drop and then it doesn't go up as high, so that helps as well. I don't really feel it all that much when I am doing the forward choke, or if I'm bearing down back here, same story. Yeah, this knife is going to get some work done, I'll tell you that. Very solid knife. You can do a lot with it. The M390 MK steel again prioritizes just a tad bit more edge retention than your regular MK. You already know MK is one of the best premium steels out there, which of course, you know, it's a good steel to have on a blade like this. I like the finish. Like, I'm not sure if the camera is going to pick up, but the stone wash right here is very nice, well done. There's like a bell satin finish going on here. That's like a different milling with lines going on here. Like the blade itself, you know, you turn it through different angles, the way the light hits it. It's like every single angle is nice and, you know, very well done machine. Chamfered here in the corners, right? There's a little bit of jimping even in the handle back here as part of, you know, these little like grooves or what have you. That also gives you additional support. Same thing going on here as well. In the back of the handle, got also some nice texture jimping going on there. I want to say is this titanium too? Yeah, yes, this is titanium. I'm feeling some pull, and that is from the screws. So the screws are steel, right? Steel screws, and so is the RAM-LOK itself, right? No plastic nonsense going on here. So steel on the RAM-LOK and the screws, but yeah, this backspacer here is titanium, so check that out. I feel like it complements it very well right there. And honestly, yeah, this thing is very fidgety for as large of a knife as this is. You know, you would think, you know, like, oh, it's gonna be clunky, it's gonna be very difficult to operate, but no, the RAM-LOK makes it so that you can operate as big of a blade as this is, and you can still comfortably deploy it, comfortably close it, right? And then repeat that action a bajillion times, as many times as you want to. If anything, I feel like you get a good feel for it once you break it in a little bit, which is nice. You can see the little section right here in the blade where the RAM-LOK kind of goes into. Let me see if I can show you that a little bit slow motion. Yeah, you see how it moves forward right there? Yep. And then same thing, right? This guy is on ball bearings. These ball bearings are super smooth. And I want to tell you something. So because it is a RAM-LOK, right, by nature, the way you grab the knife is always going to make sure that your fingers are out of the blade's path, which is nice and safe. That's a good thing about crossbar locks. And yeah, that's a good thing because this blade comes down like a guillotine, right? That is definitely has some weight to it because of the overall, you know, length to it and how long of a blade it is. But that is a satisfying drop, very drop shotty, of course. Or you want to talk about a knife that is comfortable to do the reverse grip? Boom, because of this curve right here, right? I put my hand like this, and yeah, that is pretty comfortable right there for those reverse cuts. Can do the, what is this? The Friday night gas station grip, right? Fighting for your Slurpee, right? If you're Kevin, right? Lefty EDC, you know what I mean? Or this, right? What about that? What about that grip? So, you know, they do a lot of tactical knives too. So this knife right here as a tool, it works great. I'm sure as a survival and tactical knife, it works pretty good. Also, for EDC tasks, which is what we discuss in this channel, this knife is gonna be able to knock them all out. There's a better view here from the inside. There's that coil spring. There's that titanium backspacer as well. Even the FRN or polymer scales have some milling going on from the inside, so they're not completely 100% solid. They have kind of like a square design with lines going on in the inside there. All right, I did just think of this right now. So you have plenty of sharpening that you can do. The actual plunge grind doesn't start until about right here where my fingernail is, and look at how much sharpening you can do with this knife. So yeah, if that is something that you look forward to on knives, you definitely have a lot of room right there for sharpening on this bad boy. Remember, there's a little bit of a belly curve to this blade, sheep's foot style more than anything. So of course, let's do a quick paper cutting test on this bad boy to see how it performs. You know it's gonna cut, right? There's no doubt about that. But in case you had any doubts, check out those swirls right there. It is a very bitey edge indeed. And boom, let's get that long blade, boom, to do some work. So it definitely will cut very, very well. It's very, very nice and slicey. I kind of cut there at a weird angle. Boom. Bam. So we know it can cut paper, right? We can do paper all day, every day. What about some cardboard? All right, let's see here. We got some Huggies diapers. That's the flavor of the week. Remember, when cutting cardboard, don't cut perpendicular like this, but rather at an angle like that. And it should look something like this. We have a little bit of space in between, so that should be interesting. Wow, check it out, going from one to the other. All right, this portion right here is double the cardboard, right? So we got double the cardboard going on. See how it handles that. So I feel a little bit more tension, of course. There's more friction, but it still cuts it just fine, all right? And one last one here. There we go, boom. So yeah, it can do the business as well with the cardboard. No doubt about that, as you can clearly see. Yeah, in case I haven't said this already, the quality control with Microtech knives is through the roof, right? Check out how aligned this guy is, in case I haven't said it already or shown it already. Boom. There's nothing about this knife, and again, this one being the polymer one, so the lowest price Microtech there for the RAM-LOK, like everything lines up so well. There's nothing out of place, nothing that shouldn't be somewhere. Everything is perfectly well thought out and reviewed and checked. The quality control is spot on. Everything just, you know, works like it should, and it's very reliable. The quality overall is just really, really pristine. Very similar to, you know, Spyderco knives, right? They do a really good job with their QC also. And yeah, same can be said about Microtech. Both companies are very, very solid when it comes to their QC department. So yeah, a lot could be said. We could be rambling about this knife here for a long time, but my takeaway is this, right? This is a solid knife. Microtech makes really, really good knives, American made. This is quality stuff right here. I like that they didn't do crazy billboarding on the blade like they used to for their automatic knives, where they print this logo here like really big on the blade itself. You have the tiny eagle talon, if you will, steel, and that's about it. This side here is clean. So yeah, I am really, really happy, very, very impressed. I personally feel like this is money well spent, and it is American made. So you're supporting an American company for an American made knife. And yeah, that's something to be proud of, especially if you're into that. There's a lanyard hole here I almost forgot about, almost feels like a window. That's how big that opening is back there. So yeah, definitely plenty of room for the 3 or 4 people out there that still do lanyards with their knife. I'm joking. If you do, you know, more power to you, right? That being said, yeah, this is an overall a very, very awesome knife. I'm not sure if I missed anything, guys. Let me know in the comments. We can have a discussion down there about everything Microtech MSI that you want to know. Again, price wise, this guy comes in, I want to say $170-ish, around like 180 if you pay tax. I will be linking this guy down below if you're interested on checking it out. I do believe these come in and out of stock pretty often, so don't be upset if at the time you're watching this video in the future it might not be in stock. Chances are it'll probably be in stock at some point, you know, into the future, because Microtech, I don't see them not making this knife for a very, very long time, being that it is such a great knife. They know they have a solid product here and they're going to continue making it. So if you don't get one now, I'm sure you'll be able to get one in the future, so don't get discouraged. Again, check out those affiliate links down there for this knife and any other knife that you see in this video. But that's it, guys. That is my comprehensive review. Hopefully I've been able to provide you with everything that you were expecting. If I missed anything, let me know. If you made it to this point in the video and you still haven't smashed the like button, what are you waiting for? It is free, and it also supports the channel, helps this video get pushed to a larger audience so other people can find out this great knife and EDC content as well. If you aren't yet subscribed on your way out, smash that subscribe button so you can come back for more. I make awesome knife and EDC content like this on a daily basis. If you want to take your support a step further, there's a link down there for Patreon. You can support me on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Guys, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you. Chances are the review video for the Microtech Stitch, this other beast right here from Microtech and Borka Blades collaboration, this thing is going to be ready to go. If that is the case, I'll put that review video right here for you guys to check that out next. Love you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.